I'm Kev.
And I'm Steve.
And we're from the internet.
Want to support the show? Do all your Amazon shopping through we'refromtheinternet.com/Amazon, and it doesn't cost you anything extra, but we get a little kickback on everything you buy.
Hi Kev and Steve, Rich Birch here. Looking forward to the new show. A question for it would be, how important is it that you guys are called Kev and Steve rather than Steve and Kev? And what would happen if everyone started saying it the other way around?
I'd kill them all.
We wouldn't be allowed on iTunes, would we? Because there's already a Steve and Kev show.
That's a good point.
Believe it or not, I think when we started doing all this shenanigans on the internet, I don't know whether you just looked it up to humour me or probably, but we actually looked at the Steve and Kev show and it already existed and we couldn't have it.
No, the only reason I know that existed is because when we tried to submit the Kev and Steve show to iTunes, they sent back a rejection linking me to the Steve and Kev show saying you can't have it because these people have already got it because it was the other way around and apparently it's confusion.
I some sort of justification.
Like I ever would have Googled Steve and Kev under any other circumstance. That just wouldn't make sense. It's alphabetically wrong. It's wrong in terms of height order.
Doesn't
it's
sound
wrong
right,
in
to be
terms of
fair.
handsomeness. You wouldn't call them Deck and Ant, would you?
Yeah, there's certain ways of saying them. Steve's not even my name.
What? How dare you?
But yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound right, does it? You don't have, as I said, the syllables, but they're both one syllable. It just doesn't sound right. Steve and Kev doesn't sound as catchy. I don't know.
It sounds like you're saying Stephen Kev. Like the surname is Kev, first name Stephen. It doesn't make sense that way around. Whereas you'd never put an E-N at the end of Kev. That's not even a name. It doesn't make any sense at all.
Plus, if we were Steve and Kev, we would be like Steven instead of Steven.
Steve and Kev just sounds like a local radio DJ. And Steve and Kev here on the Breakfast Show. Because they all have first names for surnames, don't they? It's the rule of being a local radio breakfast DJ.
So what you're saying is if my surname was Steve, I could be Steve, and I could be on the radio.
You'd be Steve Stevenson, probably. That is a local radio name. That is a name worthy of doing the Pepsi Top 40 or whatever it's called now. The one that's not the real Top 40. The one that people only listen to.
Is that the Vodafone Top 40 or something?
The
only live Top 40 that changes all the time.
Yeah, it gives you it does your top 10, then some other songs, then it does the top 10 again, and it's always the same.
And it just keeps asking you, will so-and-so beat so-and-so to number one?
But if you rang up Vodafone, which I imagine people do all the time,
I ring them quite often at work.
Hello, Vodafone, this is Steve Stevenson. Your name's what? My name's Steve Stevenson. You're on the top 40. We'll sack him off of JLS. You're in. Steve Stevenson is a radio name.
Should I make that my pseudonym for some of the books I'm writing?
Yes, you should.
Because that's memorable.
Yeah, I think that's superb. Would you do it? Would you do Stevenson with a PH just to make it look like your parents weren't? Well, my parents weren't idiots. If my name was Stevenson with a V, they're not going to call me Steve with a V. That's stupid. But my name's it's Steve Stephenson, actually.
That's the best way. When I'm on the BBC giving advice, and they're like, here we have Steve Stevenson, I'll be like, it's pronounced Stephenson, thank you. They wouldn't know what to say. They'd love it.
That would be fantastic. I'm going to change all the metadata and stuff for the show so that it's just published by Steve Stephenson. A new name is born, everybody. I tell you what, if that name catches on, I might allow us to be called Steve and Kev because that works for me. I like that. That's a wonderful thing.
I've waited 5 years for my nickname to have a surname to it because my actual surname doesn't really fit. It just doesn't seem right using that for.
Well, for a long time it was Steve McDoesn't-Lesson.
Yeah, but that's obviously fake. Step Henson.
What do you mean?
Step Henson is plausible.
So it's been over 5 years, and not once did you think to make the surname for Steve Stevenson.
Well, no, Step Henson is.
Oh, for goodness sake! Should we tell the people why you're called Steve then? If that's not your real name, that's a story that's worth telling. Surely we tell it towards the start of every internet venture we get involved in. It's on the first page of our first book, for goodness sake.
Well, I mean, there's not much more we can say.
We could reenact it now.
It's just, hi, my name's Richard, and you say, I already know Richard. I'm going to call you Steve.
I was going to do that.
Oh, go on, my name's Richard.
I already know Richard. I'm going to call you Steve.
It won't catch on. Is pretty much what I
think you said. I think you said, yeah, okay.
I said, yeah, okay, and then I think I turned to somebody else and went, it won't last. And here we are.
I never heard that part. It's like when you get the director's commentary on a DVD. I'm seeing the whole exchange from another angle. If I'd have heard you say that, none of this would be happening now. So
I don't think I've ruled it out. I think what it was more like...
he doesn't get it. That's fine.
No,
move along.
I got it. But what I'm trying to say is I think I just kind of thought like... No, what I actually kind of thought was no one ever sticks with that sort of thing. That's what I mean by it won't last, is I just thought you won't have the stones to see it through. So whilst it was your calling card, it was kind of one of those things where I get lots of people trying to start a joke and then never carrying it on. And I've always wanted the joke to continue forever.
Well, it's been 6 years now.
And it's not really a joke anymore, is it?
It's reached such a level that I don't even call you that anymore, except in a professional capacity. That I call you that now when I'm being formal.
It's funny.
You're just sheepdog now. If I'm trying to get your attention, it's sheepdog. If I'm talking about you, it's sheepdog. You're only Steve when I'm.
When you can't say sheepdog in like a formal setting, you have to say Steve. It does ruin at work when there's people who know me as all three names and they go like Steve, sheepdog, Richard, and it's like, okay.
Why do they go Richard?
Because
do you work with Tony the Tiger?
I do. He's retired now and works with me in sales, but yeah, I'm used to it. It's funny when it only comes up now and again. When I was the other day trying to email somebody and I couldn't get my Mature Gamer email to work, and I was ranting at you that I couldn't get into it, and you said use your other email, and I was like, I'll have to explain my name. I know you didn't mean that email in the end, but I just thought I can't email her from my personal email because then she'll ask why my name suddenly switched to Richard.
Talking of names on emails, you know when you send an email from like a random email address and it shows up as your display name. Did you set that yourself? Or does
in the
someone
options,
else set
yeah.
that? Because I've set mine on my normal email address to be my normal name, but I emailed myself from my personal email address at my work email address yesterday, and it came up saying it was from Discount Holiday Tours. I went back
you got some sort of malware.
I went back onto Gmail and checked, and I'm still showing there as my name. It doesn't say Discount Holiday Tours on there. So does that mean someone's hacked me and is selling Discount Holiday Tours?
No idea. I had suddenly realised mine had been sending us Dogbut for about 3 years when I was younger, and I don't know how that happened. But yeah, I was sending out job applications. The name Dogbut was coming up. So that's really, really random. I don't know where that came from.
So how did you fix it?
I went to the options in Hotmail and
the option. It still shows my name. I don't understand.
That is bizarre.
Want an extra episode of We're From The Internet every week? Head over to we'refromtheinternet.com/bonus to get an exclusive weekly bonus episode 100% free.